to EmoTalk. I am Jah.
And I'm your host, Rah, baby.
Yeah. How you doing, Rah? How's your life? What's been going on?
Life is good. I am in a spirit of gratitude and I'm just grateful. How are you, my love? Like, what's going on? Like, how are you? Are you ready to have some great conversations today?
Always, baby. Bring it. I got fun topics.
Yeah, there we go.
Good one. Y'all gonna like this topic today. It's a little spicy. But before we jump into it, I am doing good. You know, I'm so happy the spring is coming. Like here, you see the snow melting, you see the transition of the living environment waking back up. So it energizes me, you know?
Yeah, spring forward is a time for everything to blossom. So this goes back to any seed that you planted last season. We're in the spirit of it blossoming now. So baby, like this is a beautiful season to be in right now.
Get ready for it.
Exactly.
All right. So today's topic that we're going to be jumping on is dun, 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 dun. We're sticking into the continuing from episode 1. Sharing nudes with someone that you've never ever met.
Ooh.
Sharing nudes with someone who you never met, who shared them with you, and then you share them with your friends.
Ooh.
And number 2, saving the inventory of all the pics someone sent you.
Yes.
We're gonna go down that list in sequential order.
So much in there to unpack right there. So much to unpack.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, let's just jump right into it.
Make sure you know your mic.
Let's just jump right into it, baby. Because at the end,
wait, you got a little hand on you. What's that little hand on you?
What little hand? You see the hand there?
Where that little hand come from?
Oh, I don't know.
You know what it was? On my end, y'all, I had the little arrow and it was on your face and it turned into a hand. My bad.
This is why we do what we do, baby.
Y'all, forgive me. It's morning time.
It's morning time. We're going to jump right on in talking about sending pictures. XXX pictures. And I think we've
So the first question is, do you send them? Let's just start there. Do you send them?
Yes. So
okay.
I'm gonna say, like, I like to start this off with just telling a story, like part of my evolution. Like I've been on the receiving end of receiving the pictures, and I've been on the giving end of it. So it's one of those things now, like, you know, it's a law that I want to talk about later on, because at the end of the day, we've all shared pictures. I feel like we've all shared.
Yes, I've sent some.
Exactly, and like I said, I've sent some, I've received some, and now I'm in this place now where I'm like, oh wow, this is really part of it. And I say that because I feel like this is the law of karma for me. And I'm gonna say it like this, okay? There was a time where I will send you a picture,
whole Rolodex,
right off gate, and that was my way of, because I knew at that point, I knew that I was just looking for sex. It won't no trying to get no relationship. I just looking for sex. So, you know, what we got to talk about besides me putting this, yeah.
So, okay, so the reason I want to talk about it primarily is because a lot of my female friends ask me, and a lot, you know, gay men, straight men, we get it. But for the female viewers, do you send it because you're saying, look at my pride and joy, and that it can hypnotize? Or are you sending it because you're literally just trying to hopefully entice them? Because it's when you send a pic, there's expectations attached to it.
It is.
Beyond just getting laid, there's still that level of cockiness. Like, they gonna hit me back when they see this.
Yeah. And like I said, I always wonder how it is on the ladies' side. Like when they've been bombarded with a whole bunch of eggplants in the DMs, like how do they respond? How do they respond to, like, I always wonder on the woman's side, how do they do it? Or are they just like us men who sees and be like, oh, okay, good, because like you said, it goes into an inventory at some point, or is being shared at some point. So I mean, let's just throw that out there. Like when someone sends you a XX picture, like what is your first thought? Are you more like, okay, Is it more so for you to see who this person is and what you good? Because some people believe that in order to test drive the car, you actually have to test drive the car. So let me preview what it is before I test drive the car. Or is it just here it is? I just want you to see. Like, what are your thoughts behind it? Like, what are your thoughts?
Isn't that's kind of sort of ego, right? Because
it is
assuming that the test drive, looking at the car, you can tell, but just like a test drive, you ride it and it ain't what you want.
Okay.
So, I have learned, okay, see, I'm different.
Okay.
I psychologically break people down based on how they send photos. So, like, for me, in the past, when I've sent a nude, it was with someone I had already started a rapport with.
Okay.
Every time. I will not send unsolicited photos to no one who asks for it. Like, if no one asks to see it,
right,
then ask to look at that.
Right.
Well, no, don't just send it because you know it's cute. Like, that's not, because to me then, like, let's say I'm talking to you and you know what you want from me and you're basically trying to bait trap me, because let's just be real, an ex is a bait trap.
Yep.
And saying that your worth in my mind is these body parts you're able to share. And so it's like, that's great, it's beautiful, but like beyond that, what else can you provide me? So when someone sends me a pic right away, you're right, I know instantly they're just looking to get laid. That is easy to understand. But it's, for me, it's the sending me news before you send your face.
Yeah. Like,
do you, like, how many thirsty people are there that all they want to see is the body part? All they need is the body part. F the face, F your teeth, F your breath. Let me just see your ding.
See, right.
Or your cooter. No, we gotta add the women in here too. We know they send
they send it in too. Yeah, they send it too. Yeah.
And everything else, but for some reason, when a woman does it, because again, let's go back to that patriarch culture, it was built in that it's a normalcy for a woman to show herself. Right. And women do it so much that it becomes a norm for them. And now we got the F boys who want to, again, wear their gray sweatpants and show their eggplant. Show what they working with.
What they working, right.
But there's no depth to it. So for me, I always feel like sharing a pic means I'm getting comfortable with you. Right. And I know at some point that we're going to like probably have coitus. But I honestly don't feel like I should share them right away. That's just me. I don't know. Because I do know how girls work and how I work. And if I have a picture of your dinghy, I'm going to share it with my friends.
And that's just the truth. And that's reality. I feel like when you get pictures, at some point you either keep them in your inventory, so they're somewhere in your phone, or like you said, you are going to share them with someone else. And this is why you have to be conscious of when you're putting it out there. Because like I said, I'm guilty on both sides of, like, there was a part of me where I would just send pictures because I knew I was in that energy. Here's the thing, and this is what I always say, and this is what I'm saying, the law of karma for this one is because I will be the one who would send people there. Now that I'm looking for a serious relationship, guess what's in my inventory now? Every new picture that I put out there, because that was the energy that I was putting out there when I was in that fuck war sex energy. So I'm receiving every.
Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah, I'm receiving every bit of that energy back now. So that's why I always say, be conscious of what you're putting out there. Recognize what you're looking for. Because like I said, I'll drop messages, and I will always be the one like, okay, when I see them, now I'm like, okay, I already know you're looking for sex. But again, when you're on the other end and you're just looking for sex, it's just like, hey, this is just a body part, baby. Here you go.
But isn't that funny though? Like, you just said something that was so intriguing to me, that when you're in the mindset, almost hunting, think of Hocus Pocus, when she's like, I smell children. Now, don't mix it up, people. We ain't trying to do no funny stuff. We ain't talking about that. I was talking about the movie. But I mean, when you're on that hunt and you're sniffing around and you do put yourself out there, you don't matter. But then when you say you're ready for a serious relationship, all of a sudden you do matter. Yeah. Isn't that intriguing though? Like, we're able to almost like put ourselves like in a toolbox and treat ourselves that way.
Yeah.
And we expect other people to treat us differently and shift that mindset because No, I'm no longer a tool.
Yeah.
Gift.
Right. You're a gift. And that's why I said, like, when you're going on this process, it's a lot of residual energy that you have to work through. And this is why I said, I'm again, if you make the connection with someone, you and them are conversing back and forth, and then you establish and say, hey, can we share new pictures? Fine. But when you're sitting off the gate, again, you got to remember that that's what you're putting out there. You're putting out the energy of sex. You're putting out the energy of, here's my body, baby. You can take it. You can do what you want to do. You have to ask yourself, at some point, you are going to either remain in that energy, or you're going to be like me, who evolves from that energy. And then you're like, everything that you see now is all about pictures, because that's the lifestyle I was living at a point. So now my boxes is filled with that residual energy of what I was putting out there before I changed. And it does make a difference when you're in this new energy of a long-term relationship, because you're getting everything that you put out there prior to your new phase or your new awakening. So these are some of the things that you just need to be cognizant about. You know, at the end of the day, share your pictures if you establish a connection first.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Isn't that shape shifting though? Isn't that playing a character to get what you want? Because and I'm not picking on you at all. I'm just and for me to go from like in the single world, nude pics, do whatever I gotta do to get laid, put myself out there, who cares how I look? And then when I'm ready for a serious relationship, no, I'm proper, I'm clean, I'm not that person. And for me personally, I think, like we said in the first episode of with the dating apps, that's confusing energy.
It is.
I get on that app and I'm really looking for dating. And every time I see you, you're looking to hook up. And then all of a sudden, let's say a month later, you're like, I want a long-term relationship. I don't believe you. Yeah. And I don't talk to you. So I feel like if people are going to, again, use certain pictures on the apps and then share certain pictures with someone, you're putting a type of character out there about yourself. And everyone has to remember, be aware of the character you portray. It doesn't mean that that's who you are deep down inside, but there's so many people where there's so much confusion of you act this way when you're around these people, or you act this way when you want this, but then when you genuinely want something and it's in front of you, people don't know how to act because they're so used to the old bait traps. And so, like you said, it's when you come out of that mindset to switch over to dating, a lot of the people that I meet, their energy's like, well, why are you so upset? This isn't a big deal. Actually, it is. In the regular single world, having a bunch of whatever in your phone is fine. But then I'm dating you and I'm like, why are all these pics in here? You're like, oh, I forgot. To me, you weren't ready for a relationship. You don't forget you have an inventory of penises. That means you've been talking to so many people so long, you forget.
That's true. but you're absolutely right. And that begs the question though. Like at you know, I feel like I'm gonna answer my question, but at the same time, I have to say it like this. Once you do get into a relationship, right, do you delete your inventory? Like, should you delete your inventory? Yes. That's my thing. Like, but do you understand there's a lot of people who will remain and hold on to that inventory in relationships? So, and I'm the first to say that is confusing energy. Just like I said, being someone who evolved and who has been in one set of energy to I see the confusion between the two. I see how it can portray different characters. So what we're saying on this show now is to be conscious of it right now, so that you don't go so far into it, so far deep into it, because you have a lot. And that also means that utilizing dating apps. If you are utilizing a particular app and you have pretty much exhausted and you know that you sit all this energy out of just pictures and pictures and pictures, when you do decide to be on a long-term relationship, that may not be the app that you need to go back on to. Because again, the culture, the residual people only know you for what you have been putting out from the what you call it. So why do you go back to a place where they only know you for putting X, Y, and Z? You have to shift, you have to evolve, you have to go to a different platform to show a different side of you, unless you want to portray or remain in that character. That's the only way you can do it. So again, this is another, going back to last week, this is another thing when you're looking at dating apps. You have to remember there's appropriate apps for certain things. And then sending pictures is just something that, again, is a part of that. Like, if you already established yourself being in one app for having X amount of pictures and X amount of content that you put out there, that's what you're gonna get back in return. Right? So those are the things that you have to think about.
And that's fair. Here's the thing though, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, if I just meet somebody and we're just dating and I'm just getting to know them, no, I'm not deleting my inventory of photos. The reason why I'm saying that you can keep whatever you want, but what you're saying energetically, not only to yourself, not only to your subconscious and the universe, but you're saying, I'm not ready. If holding on to pictures of people you never met or people you have met and you can't let that go, why are you opening up yourself to be vulnerable with somebody else? To me, again, I tell people it seems simple, but now people are forgetting there is a trail of pattern that traces back to a type of psychosis or type of, mentality that's, I don't care about myself because I've been taught not to care about myself. Again, I'm not saying sharing your body doesn't mean you don't care, but if every time, every single person you talk to, you send your picture, you don't care about your body. Right. Sorry, I hurt some feelings, but it's true. I am selective about who gets to see my body because I care about my body and I trust this person enough because I want them. That's the exchange. When I'm giving it away to every single person, what's the exchange? Like, especially if it's unsolicited and I didn't ask for it. What are you saying about yourself? And I want people to remember, again, in the dating world, as we start to go out there and expose ourselves and be vulnerable, this human flesh, it has no say in anything we do. It has free will to participate, but even think about it, there's people where they hook up and afterwards they feel so bad about themselves because the body never wanted to do it, the soul wanted to do it. And so we have to be conscious of that, where it's like there's parts of our soul that it has an old remembrance of who it used to be, which is sometimes pretty nasty, and I don't mind. But me as my human self, Jah, who's been conditioned in this world, I learned how to express my sensuality differently. I didn't just rely on the looks that everyone else told me. That's why I'm important or that's why I'm attractive. I still to this day think I'm cute. Somebody else might think I'm ugly. Somebody else might think I'm beautiful. Whatever the point is, I don't take this body as my value when I'm trying to interact with people. I use my words and my communication. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I feel there's a lot of people who use, even if it's not on the apps, there's a lot of people when they first meet you, they use sex talk. They think like once you're romantically attracted, the conversation's only supposed to be about sex. And it's like, okay, you can only go so far with this topic. If I don't know you and you don't know yourself, where do we go from here?
But I think you said, you hit on something really, really important. It's like, for males, I feel like we utilize sex as a way to express our ego, to show that our dominance. So we tend to constantly put ourselves out there or show our bodies or show our image to show you that I got it. I'm the man, I'm the ego, I'm the pride, I'm the confidence, I'm the lion. You do that. But again, like you said, it is the conversations. It is me getting to know you that is going to sustain the relationship. Because your ego, your body part, your body, it's, yes, baby, it all looks good. But are we going to be able to intellectually have a conversation? Are you going to be able to intellectually feed me? Are you going to be able to provoke thought? Are you going to be able to sustain me so much outside of the rim of your physical body? So yeah,
that part.
So you have to be conscious of those things. So let me ask this question though: do you share? Would you share? Is there a select set of friends that you would share pictures with that maybe someone has shared with you? Or how does that work? Or do you
Okay, so yeah, I know. Look, I can talk some stuff and still be nasty. Okay, I only keep current pictures of the current person that I'm currently talking to in my phone.
Right. Good.
If I know that I romantically want to date them long term, I share their photos with no one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because if you're gonna be in my life, right. I don't want my friends to meet you and be like,
oh, that's what you're calling over there. Right, looking at them.
We know what you got.
Okay,
nope, because my friends are like that.
Nope.
But I do have guys where, like, yeah, I know
it's just what it is.
I know it's not going anywhere, but I know that I want it. So I'm like, girl. And I got my friends of like 8+ years and you, who I'm like, bitch, look.
Look.
Look at this one, honey.
And I think that's what a lot of people do. So again, on the end that is sending out pictures, that's something that you have to be cognizant of too. I don't think we're not cognizant of it, because at the end of the day, when you're in that energy, you're so much on the hunt, like you said. It's so much of, I'm trying to conquer. Here's my body part, baby. You want it or not, that you fail to realize that is a digital trail. Like that's a digital trail. You send it to someone, that person can either include it to their inventory, or just like you said, share it with another. This is why we have so many
arguments,
but there's also hidden apps or hidden profiles that show other people's stuff because you put it out there. So now it's on Tumblr. Now it's on.
Come on, look, Tumblr eggplant. That all is somebody sharing a photo with somebody private.
That's all that is. That's all that is.
Sometimes it might not be that, but for the most part, that's what it is. And you have to accept that. Look, I know there's a tape of me floating around somewhere out there.
Okay, baby.
I can't, that's how it floats.
That's just what it is.
When you be in that person, the pattern and the behavior traces you.
You know, because like I say, and when you're in that energy, you give 0 F's. You really don't care. You don't care. So again, it's just about fulfilling the physical need at that point. So whatever you do, you don't look at the consequences. And that's why I say now, this is a prime example of law of karma for me. It's because I'm receiving, again, that residual energy. That's why I have to select different apps, because I know that on this app, this is what I was doing. And so people are going to know that this is what he's looking for. No, that's not who I am anymore. So you have to ask yourself these questions. These are the things that, again, we don't think of it in the moment, but down the road, it comes back to us.
And what you're saying is something that you're tying it back again to the evolution of our generations in technology. Or back in the day, this was not an issue. Grandma had a Polaroid.
Okay.
Okay, now you can snap one picture and save it in your inbox in your own phone, but it is saved still to a digital bank somewhere in that company's vault because you're using their service. So it's not hidden from you, love. It has attachment to it. And so that's why I tell people, like you were saying, it's really important to know that it's okay to share anything you want to share, but you have to be conscious of you're sharing it and who you're sharing it with. It's that simple. That's why you got all these celebrities where they got photos, these nude photos leaked and everything else, and it gets out there. And to me, at this point, it's like, if you're in a celebrity level and you send the nude pics and it leak, you should just accept it. You should know, people watching.
People watching.
Sorry, just don't do it. It's gonna happen. Yeah. But if you don't care and you proud of it, Omarion, come on.
Okay. But
I still have that picture of Omarion in my head.
You recognize where you at, though. Like you said, you recognize what you at. If you at a certain, especially with celebrity, like you said, you're in a spotlight. So again, if you know you put it out there and you already know you're on the spotlight, and this isn't just for general people too, if you know that you have a reputation and you are someone who is in a spotlight, any and everything is there. It's a plotter for everybody. So just be conscious of these things. And these are, like I said, these are some things that you have to work through even as you're evolving, because there's some things that you probably did. Like I said, there's some things that I did in undergrad, that there's videos and stuff, are they going to affect me now? Those are the questions I'm asking myself now.
Or will I accept it now? Because there's a lot of people who try to fight stuff they did years ago. And I'm like, I'm not about to argue with you what I did when I was 21. I was 21. Of
course. We were all kids. We're all doing everything. But once you get, the saying is, once you have something and you don't want to lose it, you work for it and you work to protect it. So again, I'm conscious now of sending new pictures. Like, I would literally have to I'm getting to know you first. Like, that's not going to be something that I just go off from the get-go, because I'm not in the energy of just sex, and I'm in the energy of looking for something more long-term. So I'm looking for conversations first. After conversation happens, and then we say, you know what? How about we share? Because again, sometimes we want to test drive the car before we actually ride the car. So sometimes we want to see what we're getting ourselves into. I understand that, but it comes in a different. It's levels to this stuff. So it comes in a phase when it's appropriate for it, not off a gate. That is the biggest thing right now. Don't do it off a gate now.
Well, you said something that was I really wanted to tap on because it's important to say. Appropriate is also we're talking about a certain age group. Have to be over. In my mind, any conversation that me and Jah are having, you are over the age of 18 years old. Because you get to experience that. If you're living your life as a young person, do you, but I'm not encouraging you to do anything before you are emotionally ready. And so this does happen with a lot of teenage kids where they send these nude pics to their young boyfriends and their boyfriends share their or whoever. And that type of situation, I'm gonna have an opinion, but for me, those sometimes turn into bully situations. It becomes unsafe because now this person who thinks they're being vulnerable with someone they like, really, it's just a hormonal teenager who shares it, and now they're embarrassed. And because they're embarrassed, this person gets mad and starts sharing it and abusing that vulnerable moment. Right. So there's a lot of responsibility that, again, is attached to when someone sends you a nude. It's your responsibility to not go out there putting it on blast, but also kind of preserve something for their own humility so that they did it because there was something about you. Not just because. That's what I was saying, when people just send it unsolicited, they don't care about themselves. Isn't it like low key to somebody you care about? I understand that because I've been there, but once it's in their hands, there's nothing you can do. And you have to hope that the energies you're calling in, because remember, you attract and you bring in what you are. So if you're calling in that energy of, like you said, I'm horny, I'm this. Well, if all you surround it with is because I've met a lot of people where they got friends where their friends have seen their penis. These aren't my friends, in my opinion. I'm not saying that you can't be friends with somebody and get down and have fun and share that moment. I've done that as far as like me and my friend with separate people. But if it's like my friend who secretly wants to sleep with me and they have pictures of me and they're soliciting these pictures, it becomes a weird situation. I
agree with you. It becomes a weird situation. But I think what you just now said is important. The person who is receiving the picture too, there's a level of responsibility on that end. Meaning to not share. Like if I am receiving pictures, it's supposed to be an intimate moment between the two of us. It doesn't mean I need to share it and broadcast it with the world. It also means too that I have to recognize that when if I don't do anything out of spite or out of ego, because there's a lot of cause and effect. So even if you and I don't bang at some point years down the road, my first goal shouldn't be able to retaliate against you by putting your nudes out there. To me, that is petty, and that is something that we should not do. Because at the end of the day, what is it saying about you? Law of, again, cause and effect. What you're putting out there, baby, the effect is going to do. So it is your responsibility to not share. Again, I'm like you. If there's a good friend, if there's someone that I know that I'm going to potentially date, I'm not going to share a nude with my friends, because at the end of the day, I don't want that person to walk into the room and everybody looking at them side eye like, oh, that looks good.
Honey, look, let's be real. That's how a lot of these fake friends sleep with your man.
And that's how it happens. Period.
Or sleep with somebody before you even get to know them. Like, ain't you talking to them? Well, they talking to you. Absolutely. You show me the picture. Y'all ain't a couple yet. Like, with distortion like that.
Absolutely. Because like you said, you gave me permission the friend is like, you gave me permission. Because you basically said, here's what it looks like. This is how it feels like, because you already probably gave a story behind it and everything else. So when that friend feels like, okay, well, they're advertising it to me at that point. So can I taste the sampler or not? And this is, again, you have to be conscious of putting that out there. If you know that, again, I'm just gonna say, it's all about your responsibility on the receiver end. It's all about your responsibility on the giving end of it too, because you have to recognize that, is this person going to utilize these pictures as something for themselves to kind of connect, to magnify the connection? Because long-term relationships like this, people who date across, of course they share pictures like that. But if someone you feel like they're gonna be, at some point gonna have a retaliatory spirit, and this is hard to find out in the moment, because like I said, some people just trust people, and they're like, I'm just giving you this this photo so that you and I can show our stuff intimately. But that's why I said on the receiver end, you have to protect that because someone trusted you enough to share their most sacred body part with you. So don't be someone who's going to share it with the world. What does that say about you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and that's why, again, the first episode was about dating apps because a lot of the world, this is how they're making connections. Yep. And so I think it is important that we have these conversations to at least teach people how to not only start a conversation with someone who's worthwhile, but how to look for the profiles that they actually want. Because again, it does get hard when you're battling your hormones and you're battling your innate heart that's like, I want to feel loved. I want something long term. And then your hormones are like, I want something now. Give it to me now.
And because you have so much options too. It right there, like, give it to me now. It's so many options for you.
Yeah. But that's where I say it's really important to know who you are when you go onto these apps. Everyone is able to solicit something out of you if you allow them to. There's always going to be something out there that entices you enough that you're like, all right, I trust them. And you know them, and you shouldn't trust them, but you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. I trust them. It's okay to have that emotion. There's nothing. I'm never going to take that emotion away from people. But I'm telling people, for me, look, at 36 years old, as I get older, I'm like, oh, honey, I was going through on old Gmail folder because it's like, you've reached your max capacity. You got to get rid of some photos. And I went through it. I'm like, there's a good inventory of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many people, and I laughed, how many people have I sent this picture to that I never talked to again, but they still have it somewhere?
You have it somewhere. Yeah.
There's people like that. And so again, I do what you want to do. I personally think it's weird to hold on to old photos if I'm engaged with that person anymore. There's enough porn, there's enough randomness out there. I can look up any type of dingaling or any type of vagina if I'm into that. But to hold on to someone you've actually had a conversation with or some level of intimacy with, and then you keep it as if like a trophy to them or a shrine, and then you meet someone new, that is weird to me. Because did you date them? No. Are you into them?
No. They're just in my inventory.
Yeah. So, but you have pictures of them still. So if you're not into them, why do you have them?
Right.
I think a lot of times, if we're really talking about the human condition, people like to hold on because it's like, in their mind, it's more personal. Like, this person sent this to me for me. Even if they sent it to a bunch of different people, in their mind, it was for me. So that's more like personal to have these photos to like get off to than look up like porn, which there's no attachment. That's a psychological thing where I'm going to say again, do you, boo, but understand that holding on to them is a level of, again, self-sabotage, because you're telling yourself you're not ready to let go of something you never had or will never have. Yeah. And I don't know. Again, to some people it's not weird. To me, it's weird. I'm putting it out there. Sorry.
No, but I agree with you. I feel like at a certain point, especially when you're transitioning to your new life, what's the point? Like, how often are you actually reviewing your inventory? Like, is that something that you utilize as something that you go back to when you're feeling in the moment? You just want to release, so you look at it as a platform as porn, or do you just hold on to it just for the sake of it? Like.
Well, that's a great question, Rah. And that question, my loves, we're going to save for our podcast. We're beginning to get to that wrap-up point. So thank you guys again for joining us today on today's conversation. Again, EmoTalk is all about just random stuff that happens in all of our dating lives. It's about our emotions. It's having a deep conversation about the things that we all talk about intimately with our friends. We're going to you on a bigger platform. So this is what we're all about. So yes, we will answer that question on EmoTalk after dark. To more depth about Rah's questions. What do I do with that inventory, and do I use it as porn? That's going to be for a later talk.
Okay. So with that being said, as we're wrapping up on this show, what are some of your takeaways for everyone to hear to let them know that this is something to be cognizant about? What are some of your type of takeaways?
I think my main takeaway is know your own barometer of you or you don't feel safe. What I mean by that is, if I comfortably am having a conversation with someone, they could be trying to get laid, don't care about me at all. But if they're putting in the work where they're having a conversation, they're asking me questions, they're being gracious, they're being empathetic, you're going to get to see the cookie a lot faster. But if you're just, what's up, horny, yeah, send pics, get out of here, go away. Those, to me, those people, red flag people, where play this game emotionally, these people expect a lot out of you. They want to control you. And they're more than likely going to have some level of trauma where they have hedonistic expectations of you, but not them. Honey, I'm going to take it there. People who take the time to listen to you and at least try to coax you, hey, they might be a crazy psychopath or narcissist, but at least they're taking the time to woo me. And I have free will to decide if I want to step into that trap or not. Don't say that somebody trapped you because you chose to walk into it. So that's my takeaway. Pictures are pictures. They're great. But if you that thirsty, salivating at the mouth, lose all inhibitions over a photo, honey, you got a lot more work to do.
Okay. And with that being said, listen, y'all, I feel like you need to go ahead and tune in to the After Dark series. There's some more we're going to unpack. There's some deeper level of conversation that we're going to have about this. There's a lot of stuff to unpack with this. But as always, we are your wonderful hosts. I'm your host, Rah. And of course, you have your beautiful host, Jah. We're here to assist you. These conversations are amazing conversations that are just random, that are day-to-day conversations that people have that we need to start talking about. So our goal is just to give you our perception about it and give you some guiding points. So tune in to our After Dark session. There's some more juicy details that we're about to drop. So just stay tuned.
Stay tuned, folks. And again, don't forget, check us out on YouTube, as well as we're going to have our TikTok, as well as, again, Spotify. We're working on a few different things, but right now our main platforms are YouTube and Spotify. So please go ahead and check us out. First episode of After Dark is there. We're getting ready to send you over to the second one. YouTube premieres Monday, the 20th episode. So this is the second one. So congratulations for making it. As always, I am Jawan. I go by Jah. You can check me out at epicinity.org for anything that has to do with life coaching. And Rah, close us out.
And I am Rah, a board-certified natural medicine practitioner. Listen, anything that you need from holistic health, come visit us, Self-Love Healing Arts. Between the two of us, we got you. We're your blueprint. Stay tuned, loves. We'll see you in our next episode. Yay!
Besos.
Love you guys.